How's it going, everybody? Today I thought I would give you a brief look into what the production process is like for me editing the audio of my videos. The AI storyteller creates events like pirate raids, resource drops, or animal attacks. The AI storyteller creates events like pirate raids, resource drops, or animal attacks. So first of all of my videos are captured using Bandicam. When I record with Bandicam, I am recording with the Motion JPEG format because I will edit it in Adobe Premiere, and I'm also recording into 3 separate tracks. Now the reason for recording into 3 separate tracks is that once it's output, for example here, you'll be able to see each file that I record has a game audio file as well as my commentary audio file. So right here is the video file that I will import into Premiere. This is the soundtrack of the game that I import into Premiere, and then this is my commentary over the game. And the reason it's important to keep these 2 files separate is because if you want to apply any sort of post-processing to your commentary after it's recorded, you're going to need to separate it from the actual game soundtrack, because otherwise it would just sound like a garbled mess. So that's a very important thing to remember when looking at what I'm doing here. Next, I take that file, the one with my commentary on it, and I import it into Isotope RX5 Advanced Audio Editor. And the reason I do this is for a couple of reasons. One is unique to my situation. There is a electronic interference in my area that makes it impossible to record audio without, here I'm going to switch back to the initial state. See all these little clippings right here? They're just a whole bunch of little small marks. They're all clicks in the audio. And as you can see, that's quite significant. So first I apply a declick filter that gets rid of all of those. Isotope RX5 has some pretty powerful plugins. Then secondly, I boost the gain up a little bit so that way the ambient noise in the background will be filtered out better when I start applying compression to this audio and stuff. And then I will select a spot of the audio that is actually quiet. For example, right here, this stuff is an area where I'm not talking, so it's just ambient background noise. And then I apply the noise plugin, and that will, I'm just going to repeat what I did there. As you can see, it really shrunk the amount of sound on those quiet parts down quite a bit. So after I'm done in here, that's pretty much all I use Isotope RX5 for. I will then save the file and move it over to Adobe Audition, which is a part of the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. And once we're in here, there are actually some pretty unique things that I do. And this is really what puts the final polishing touches on the audio. I'm going to jump back to Rack Preset. Now this is one that I have myself. If we go in here into the presets, I have one that's called somewhere Game Voiceover. And the plugins that I use for this are all live, but then before I can save the file, I have to apply them. So the first one is Dynamics Processing. The second one is Parametric Equalizer. The third one's Hard Limiter, and the fourth one's De-esser. Now, I'm not very knowledgeable about audio engineering, but you definitely can tell the effect that De-esser has on when I make this sound, because it will prevent it from really just drilling right into your ears. The AI storyteller creates events like pirate raids, resource drops, or animal attacks. Hard limiter is a form of compression. The equalizer, that really adds more roundness to the voice. And the dynamics processing is essentially more compression. As you can see, you can edit any effect here. Jump in the settings, and here you can see all the attack that the compressor is doing. So once all of these are applied, and we can do that by clicking apply, the program will take a little bit of time to render it, and then we'll be able to see the final result. And I'm going to show you the difference between that result and the existing result before I actually apply these effects to it, because you'll be able to see a visual representation of the change in the wave forms here represented on the screen. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. This is after it's improved. You can see pretty much all of the waveforms are pretty consistent. They're flat. There are no high peaks that stick out anywhere that would cause you to want to turn your volume up or down due to a discrepancy in audio. If we go back to the way it was when it was open, as you can see, a lot of peaks and a lot of smaller areas of audio that would be more difficult to hear. So once I'm done with all this, I export it, and then this file is ready to move into Adobe Premiere where I'll edit it along with the video. Now there is another part, and that is the game soundtrack. The first file, as I pointed out in Windows Explorer, right here, this file, this first one, number 1, it's pretty consistent. That one is the game audio file, and here it is in this is actually Audacity, because I haven't gotten around to coming up with the plugins to achieve the same effect in Adobe Audition, since I've only recently started using Adobe Audition. So if we're going to undo pretty much everything that I did ever since importing this. So this is what the file looked like when I initially imported it. This is the game soundtrack audio, and as you can see, while it is relatively consistent, there's definitely some parts where it fades in and out a bit, and this can make it complicated to commentate over because there is a constant fluctuation in the level of audio for the background game. This can cause, in some games, some real extreme sorts of sounds that will just completely erase whatever you're saying, whatever you're commentating over it, because it's so loud. So what I do here, and this is actually one of the effects, I did install this plugin custom, the compressed dynamics plugin. It is free, so if you're using Audacity, you don't have to worry about paying for that. But then I'm just going to redo what I had done using the effects, and that was to compress the dynamics once, compress the dynamics twice. As you can see, now it's really full. All those lower parts of the audio have been stretched out and made louder. And then I apply some amplify. In this case, it's actually de-amplifying it. So that way it's actually, it's easier to get it to the right balance, the right mix between the background audio and my commentary in Adobe Premiere. And once this is done, then I simply export it using the WAV file format, which is pretty native to Windows. It is a lossless file format by and large. It's not perfect, so it's not like FLAC or anything like that. That's pretty much the process involved with the post-production audio of my videos from here on going forward. You will notice that in some of my older stuff, going back as recently as a week ago, none of the special enhancements that I have been using Adobe Audition to provide were in existence. So I hope that going forward from here, my audio will sound better. And I'm always trying to improve on the technical aspects, the back end production of what I do. So I hope you found that informative. If you are somebody who is aspiring to do something similar, hopefully this gives you a starting basis to launch off of. And that's pretty much all I have for you right now. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.